Hello. I've done quite a bit of Souls-likes the past couple of days, Souls games in the past couple of days. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to just kind of chill. We're gonna play something. Play something that I've been wanting to play. I think would be a lot of fun. Wizard guy. I'm excited for this. I've heard good things about it. Wizardry. Use full screen. Hold on, let me get the audio set up for you guys. Please don't. Where's the audio? You guys can't even see the game. Great start. There we go. I guess there's no audio right now. Jesus, that was loud. My bad. You've walked the wilds of Kakabad, sorry if I've mispronounced things, through Kar and the spiteful backlands all the way into Mampang. You have survived traps, thieves, serpents, and vengeful gods, and now it is here. It is said the crown was never forged, only found, by Chalana the Reformer, a lowly foot soldier who became emperor of the Eastern world. Such is the power of the crown. The air around it crackles with influence. Oh, fuck it, we'll take it. Your destiny awaits. With the crown in your hands, you will be as powerful as Chalana. The goblins are arming, the giants are waking, and the birdmen carving cruel daggers from stone. War will come, but you will prevent it. But then, the image of the crown begins to flicker. You rush forwards. Oh, are you? Okay. And startle yourself awake. You are alone, exhausted in the little hut in the outpost settlement. Your unimaginable journey is not even a single step begun. Epic. That's us. It is sunrise. You dress breakfast on bread and goat's milk and collect the pack and sword from beside your bed. I guess we'll pray for luck, because I'm gonna need it. I'm probably gonna make very bad decisions. That won't go very well. Before you leave, you close your eyes and raise a prayer to your spirit guide. This morning it has the form of a panther, but what will it become once your journey truly begins? A great calm descends you. Outside the hut, you hear the outpost settlement stirring into life. Is our blade good? You pause to test the blade of the sword against your thumb. The blacksmith has done well. The edge is keen and draws a narrow line of blood. Whee! Time then to depart. You lift back the flap of the hut and step into the early morning sunshine. Eyes follow you as you leave the hut and walk towards the great Shamanti wall. The frontiers people of this tiny settlement are well aware of your mission. Is it loud enough now? Did I make it too quiet? Turn it. We'll greet them. Oh my god. That's not scary. You turn to them and bow. Some smile and reply, but are too afraid to approach. Others make gestures of protection. You're going beyond the wall, so they believe you to be cursed. Man is waiting on the path to the Cantapani Gate, the final doorway between Analand and the wilds of Kakabad. You recognize the sergeant of the Sightmaster warriors. He holds out his hand. You just be a complete dick. Greetings, Sergeant. He touches his forehead with 2 fingers. You are almost ready, he says. I have for you a gift from the king. 24 pieces of gold. It is all we can spare at this time. He holds out a pouch. Fuck it, yeah, we'll take it. Hey. You accept the gift graciously. Thank you. You should buy some supplies before you pass the wall, the sergeant says, and you must collect your spell book if you wish magic to aid you. Finally, should you wish to practice your swordplay, I will go one last round with you. Oh. Let us practice battle. Big money. Getting paid. You walk with the sergeant to the training ground and he wraps the base of staff in leather. To begin, the sergeant says we will practice the stances. First, defend yourself against me. The Sightmaster is a powerful enemy. By defending, you will receive the minimum damage from any attack he makes. The Sightmaster sergeant defends himself as well. The round is a stalemate. I will now defend myself, he says. Whatever attack you play will damage me, but a strong attack will use more power. You should choose a weak attack. Oh, and it's based on stamina. Okay. Okay, you swing with a weak attack, rushing for the Sightmaster sergeant who's defending. Good choice. A stronger attack would have wasted more of your power. My next attack will be one of my strongest, he declares. If you can perform a full attack, you may overpower me, but otherwise you had best defend yourself. Oh, shit. That was -4. Uh-oh. Avoid strong attacks unless you are confident of winning. You fucking told me to. It said... Okay. Defend. You defend yourself. The Sightmaster sergeant performs a weak attack. You receive a small amount of damage. Okay, he says it'll be low. Is that low? Okay, I got 5 stamina back. I think I get combat. You shake your head. Very good, the sergeant agrees. But if you wish a bout in earnest, then I warn you, I will not go easy on you. He indicates the wider yard where the space... Oh. Let me collect my magic. One of the huts set slightly back from the others is decorated with glyphs and strange symbols. A terrible smell emanates from its doorway. This is the hut of the chief mage. He has been preparing your spellbook for days, reading star charts to work out which spells will be available to you in different locations in the hills and beyond. So he's stinky. He's a goner. You lift the flap and go inside. The mage looks up at you with haggard, sleepless eyes and presses the book into your hands. Do you understand how to use this? No. Each spell is crafted through the alignment of 3 stars. He begins. The spell Zap, for example, is made by aligning Zarathustra, Aegis, and Peony. But that is not important. What matters is what the spell is called and what it does. Zap will give you control over lightning. Hot will create a fireball. Fof will create a force field around you. Tell me more. The Law spell is formed from Lilith, Aegis, and Wex, and it will allow you to control the will of unintelligent creatures. The Wall spell is quite different and uses different stars. The order matters, you see. Wall creates an invisible barrier. You'll find the rest in the book. Do I keep bothering him? Do I need to write these down? I'm gonna... What is it? It's, Zap Hot. What was it? And then Hot is Fireball. And Foff will be a force field. And then Law is like control. You guys can still see it. Wall. Barrier. Okay. I want more. Well, the Dop spell is useful for locks. Okay. I got a lot of spells. Locks. Shield. Dome. Okay. He scratches absently, and as you remember, some spells will cost you effort to use, but the ones that don't will not work without a focus, an item. Oh, it's a focus item of some kind. You'll need to read the book to know what. This volume contains the 48 spells of the High Craft, as discovered and passed down from generation to generation of sorcerers from the earliest days of the Eastern world. Each spell is formed of 3 letters, and each spell will take energy to cast. Furthermore, some spells will fail without the use of a particular item or focus. All these spells are extremely tiring and will cost you 3 points of stamina. Okay, easy. More economical versions exist, though some rely on the caster owning particular items of power. Zap. Oh, I like the hot. A. Fireball. Hold on. Fireball. Fucking wait, do I have a... Hold on. Gotta get soundboard ready, or like voice changer. Big. Oh my god, you can inflate your body 3 times the size. Walk. The spell requires a gold coin, which is placed on the caster's wrist. You do that fucking one trick where it's just like you have like, oh sorry, I hit the mic. But like you have like the coins like this, and then you just. Dop. The spell may be used to open any lock. Yeah. This requires beeswax. It's called Raz. To perform the spell, beeswax is required. By rubbing the wax on any bladed weapon and casting the spell, the blade will become razor sharp and do at least double its normal damage. Okay. Sus! Among Us. Spell may be cast when the caster suspects a trap, and it will indicate telepathically to the caster the danger and the best protective action. If already trapped, the spell may be used to minimize the effects in certain cases. 6. Spells cast onto the caster's own body and creates multiple images of the caster, all capable of casting spells and attacking. Each will perform identical actions, and most creatures will be unable to tell which is the real figure. That is insane that it's only 1 stamina. Jig. Ah, yes. We just make them get groovy with it. Gob requires a goblin's tooth. The creature spell requires any number of teeth of goblins. The spell may be cast onto these teeth to create 1, 2, or an army of goblins. Oh, okay. How many? There's a lot of spells. Nose plug. Where was that? Niff. The spell causes the air to fill with nauseating stench so vile that any creature catching a whiff will need to vomit. What's going on here? Is that just God? Summon God. Okay. We will look back at those another time. Small traders in the settlement supply the Sightmaster warriors with weapons, armor, food, and clothing. You go over with the sergeant to a stall selling flatbread and cheese. Buy 2 rations. You hand over your coins, and the man places 2 rations carefully into your pack. You must be sure you eat every day or you will suffer. Okay. Yeah, I got rations. Yeah. So if I go to items... Yeah, there's my rations. Okay. Let's fight in the yard. Unsheathe my sword. This time I'll not tell you my intentions. Okay. Let's do like a 3. Dang. Oh, he's definitely gonna be fucking... Oh, shit. Hiya. I've done it. Bazinga. He bows to you once more. Excellent, he declares. Few men have ever bested me. You truly are Analan's best hope. As he talks, a nearby healer hurries over with a salve, and your health and the sergeant's quickly is restored. Huge. We've done it. You reach the foot of the mighty gate. It is sealed. The sergeant places one hand on the wood. The gate has been locked for some time to deter raiders, he tells you, but you will have no difficulty. The stars in this place allow the DOP spell to be crafted. Oh! We're casting DOP. Click the letters to find a spell. D. I wonder which letter it wants me to use. Stop! You weave the spell one by one. The great tumblers of the door begin to crack and groan. Then the hinges turn and with a noise like hail on a canvas roof. These gates have not opened since our last champion was lost, the sergeant says. I wish you more luck than he. Perhaps you will even meet him on your travels. That does not concern me. Very well. Together, you step into the shadow of the wall. One last word, he declares. When you have the crown, find the highest point you can find. We will be watching. From where? From here. The Sightmaster warriors are selected from birth for their incredible powers of telescopic vision. You cannot help but wonder how far he can see. What lies ahead? This path leads first to Cantapani. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but a settlement of traders, though most are rogues and thieves. You should be there before the sun has reached its peak. From there, 3 routes lead on to Kristatanti. I don't know how to say it. But no single route is safe. Kakabad is the land of devils. I cannot see so far, he says, but once you have crossed the city port of traps, you will enter the backlands. They say that day and night they are controlled by forces other than the sun, and from Kar 2 your progress will be watched. It is time to go. Striding away, you pass through the gate. The faces of the folk watching your departure reveal the hopes that rest on you and your quest. The early morning air is crisp, and the rising sun paints the slopes in shades of peaceful beauty, concealing the evil that lies ahead. Let us journey. The path winds through slopes of wild scrubland. The countryside is deserted, and the eerie silence is broken only by the cawing of occasional crow. There's a spell for hearing what they say, but you do not have the equipment it requires. The birds appear to pause in the air and examine you as they pass. Stupid creatures. They pose no threat, so you ignore them. Barely an hour beyond the wall, and the air begins to grow foul. The Shamutani hills are infested with the pestilence of the backlands. It saps the energy from your body, leaving you feeling nauseous and weak. Just cover my mouth. Oh, for fuck's sake. You cover your mouth with your neck scarf, but it does no good. They warned you of this. You will grow accustomed to it longer you are out here. But for the moment, you must be very careful. Your maximum stamina will decrease. You can see your stamina at the top of the... Yeah. Which way, Ben? Which way should we go? A low rise or travel cross country? Which way was directly towards the town? It was this way. Okay, so a low rise. Another hour passes and you crest a small hillock, from the top of which you can see the path, continuing downwards into a small settlement of huts. This must be Cantapani. Let's look at the village. From this distance, it's hard to make out much about the town, except that it must be desperately poor. The fields on either side are brown with caked mud, and the few penned animals are thin and wizened like thirsty vines. No wonder the Sightmaster warriors don't trouble themselves to protect this place. There's nothing here to protect. That's fucked. I'm going into the village. I want to see what's going on here. Of course, if you were scared of a town like Cantapani, then you could not hope to survive in Kakabad proper. You follow the path down into the town. The round huts are made of a hard-baked bright clay, and the roofs are thinly thatched. As you pass, eyes appear at dark doorways, tracking your every move. For a moment, it seems like this will be all you see of the town's inhabitants. But then a villager appears from one of the dwellings and blocks your path. We can look at him, threaten him, push him out of the way, or cast a spell. Oh my god. Sure, I'll just look. I'll stare him down. He is 5 feet tall. They cannot grow much taller out here in this poisonous air. He has a thick set arms and thighs and is half clothed in tattered breeches. His eyes are wild and his long red hair and beard stand out from his face in wiry tangle. Halt, stranger, he commands. What business have you in Cantapani? I would say the bottom one, but I feel like they're hungrier than I am, considering, you know, their animals are fucking, like, thin as shit. I feel like that's rude. I'm just gonna ask for directions. To where, he demands. I'm on my way to Car, you say. I have myself never left this village, the man declares with pride. Although I can tell you there are 2 paths ahead, but my advice is not free. You must have money on you. For 2 gold pieces, I'll tell you what I know. I'll find out myself. Fuck you. So what worth is your advice? The man shrugs. That you will find out for yourself then. And then he stands aside to let you move on by. You stride on to the very center of the village. There are a few larger houses here. Even Cantapani has its nobility, it seems. But the only spot of interest is a small inn offering food for sale. Ooh. Fuck it. Yeah, let's go start a bar fight. Only my left hand needed to crack. You head inside. The place is just a low table and a black iron pot above a stove. A woman watches you with wide, fearful eyes. No, that's not what I meant. Can I rewind? Yes. Look at him. I'm just gonna do the same shit. I need directions. I'll find out for myself. Continue. And then I wanted to greet the woman, not scare her. Greetings, you declare, bowing slightly to the woman. The gesture appears to make her more afraid, not less. How much are your provisions? 1 gold piece for the stew, she replies in a thin, hungry voice, but perhaps you want some food to take with you, seeing as you're a traveler. Sure, I'll take... I kind of want to try the stew. I'll take the stew. I'll take some stew. You pay the woman a gold piece and she hands you a steaming bowl. The broth inside is a thick paste of lentils, spices, and hunks of meat, but it's not bad for all that. Once finished, you leave without another word. You head out of Cantapani and along the path into the Shamatanti Hills. Striding past the outlying huts, you send the villagers rushing indoors to hide. And at the edge of town, you pass a large boulder. At once, 2 rough-cut villagers spring out with swords drawn. They're bandits. 2 against 1, the first declares. You're lost, calls the other. So hand over your things. Come on. Deal with these curs. You draw yourself to your full height. You have mistaken me for someone else, you declare. You will suffer for that mistake. Let's cast a spell. Can we cast... I want to see if Foth works. Oh wait, no. No. I wanted to do... Can we do law? Do you think that'll work? I didn't think they would be intelligent, so I went for it. Hello, I'm back. I'll take provisions this time. I will pay her. Okay. Let's do this again. Run it back now. Cast a spell. I don't have one that... I mean, I don't have one written down that starts with J. We don't have zap, so I guess let's do a force field. Cast a spell raising a visible force field all around you. Try as they might, the bandits cannot harm you. They cannot even get close. Realizing the power of your sorcery, they quickly flee back to the village. This is a stroke of luck, as the force field does not last long. You continue along the path, leaving the village behind. About half an hour later, you reach the start of the climb into the hills proper and continue upwards. Climbing that hill. Leaving Cantapani behind marks the true start of the wilderness. Beyond the tiny outposts, there are scattered homesteads and Kar, a thriving city port, but all are touched by cruelty, isolation, and fear. The backlands and the long shadow cast by a man-packed fortress darken everything. Sorry. Thirsty boy. And with the crown gone, things can only grow worse. In the long years since Kalana, the reformer, founded the alliance, the crown has been passed from kingdom to kingdom every 4 years, ensuring each one has its turn to lead, but no more. Ruddlestone, Lendoland, Galantaria, and Bryce have all enjoyed its power. I feel like Bryce is the odd one out here. That's just some guy. Just like... It's like if we were to go back into like the Dark Souls games, because we've been playing those, right? And we had some random guy named fucking Michael who just lit himself on fire because he's seeing all these people light the fire. Bryce is the odd one out. Justice must be done. Justice must be done for Analand and the Five Kingdoms. And Bryce. Don't forget Bryce. So here you are, a lone hero, walking the long path to Mampang alone. 5 minutes later, you reach a fork in the road. The sergeant, for all his eyesight, hadn't mentioned this. The road splits around the base of a gigantic tree, but does not rejoin on the other side. The left path winds down into a valley, and the right rises up a slope towards the first thick forest of the hills. Let's look right. It's hard to see much further uphill. The forest is sudden and thick, and the path narrows. It may be hard going in that direction, but the hills will involve a lot of climbing eventually. I can't read. And you may get a decent view of the next leg from the top of the ridge. Alright, what's left? You pause to consider the lower route. There is a river there, and the path follows the left bank. It is a safer route, secluded and protected, but the curve of the landscape would mean you are almost backtracking. You're about to make your choice when you hear a faint cry from somewhere close hand. Let's look around. Look around, then finally up in the branches of the tree, a pair of wizened, calloused feet are dangling down over your head. About to drop on you, perhaps? Let's just throw something. Casting it about for a decent sized rock, you settle on one and then turn and lob it into the tree. You aim carefully for your target. A wiry old man who looks as thin and bedraggled as a winter shrub. The stone strikes him and he cries out as he almost topples from the branch. Oi, he cries. You almost had me eye out. Jesus. Sight to behold. Aim better this time. I apologize. I'm sorry, you reply. I thought you were an attacker. Me? He laughs at you. I'd crack me thumb if I tried to squash a woodlouse. Now will you help me down the slow way too, if you don't mind? Yeah, let's help him down. Swing yourself onto the lowest branch of the tree. You reach up and grab the old man by the waist. He is as light as a leaf, and within a moment you have him lifted to the ground. Thanks for that, he remarks, brushing himself down and almost knocking himself over in the process. I was just starting to get a bit, perturbed. But I'm on the safe now. I'm on the safe now. Okay. Irish folk. He seems remarkably confident, considering that the slightest stumble might break him into bits. Let's leave him and move on. We must move on. The light is fading already. As the old man dashes off downhill towards Cantapani at a terrific pace, you consider your options. There's mines there. What's the goal? I believe... Oh, this might be the goal. I'm gonna head uphill. I want the high path. The high route seems the most secure. In a valley you can be easily observed from above and led astray, but out in the hills you can go whichever way you choose. Of course, when night falls it may be cold and exposed up on the slopes, but no matter. This journey was never destined to be easy. The path winds upwards into the hills and into the cover of a wood. The afternoon sun glints through the trees and plays tricks on your eyes. Every so often you catch a glimpse of some strange shaped animal or other watching you, only to find that it is the silhouette of branches and leaves caught at an odd angle. After an hour's walk you are starting to feel hungry. Yeah, we'll stop and eat. Fuck it. Woo! Got some stamina back. You clamber to the top of a low stone dome, then sit and pull out a quantity of your cheese and bread and eat, while admiring the view down the hillside through a break in the trees. Feel better for your rest. Time to move on. You stand and put on your pack, on which you had been sitting to prevent any creatures getting in, or any of your things falling out. Then you return to the path. The climb continues with the path twisting this way and that. The air grows cold and the sun flickers on the horizon, then sets, making it hard to see your way. But the moon is full, and when twilight is done, it will be bright once more. I feel like it might be smart to make a camp. I might get robbed in the middle of the night, but it's better to be robbed than stabbed and killed and all that. But to tire yourself out on the first day would be inaptuous. You settle down to make a camp for the night in a natural shelter provided by the roots of 3 gigantic intertwined trees. Your backpack will serve for a pillow and your cloak for a blanket. Before settling to sleep, you check through your pack. You have 3 rations left. Let's just sleep. I'm not eating another one. You lay yourself out on the ground and are quickly asleep. The moon is full and high in the sky. When you next open your eyes, you feel warm and more cozy than you did before. As if wrapped in a giant blanket, there's a pain in your leg. Ugh. Fucking cast a spell. This one I want to do law. I want to try law. You complete the spell and the bat stiffens. It is responding to your mental commands. Order it away. You direct it to fly away, and it dutifully takes the air and flies away. A soft night returns without further incident, and you settle back down. Once again, the crown fills your dreams, only now instead of being hidden away in Manpang Fortress by the Archmage, you see it on the head of the burly villager from Cantapani. Anyone can wear the crown, he declares to you, but wearing the crown you are no longer just anyone. Then he points a finger at you, then seems to crackle with energy, and you find yourself drawn towards him, commanded to do his bidding. The woman from the inn is beside you. She spits at you when you look at her. We're walking towards a crack in the ground. It seems sure to swallow you whole. You stumble at its edge, about to fall. All right. Wake up. The second day of your journey begins in the morning. The morning cool. Still halfway between sleeping and waking, you feel the presence of your spirit, the fox. There is the spirit under my face cam. I will let you guys know what the spirit is. Its form has changed since you left Analand, just as you have changed, but is still running beside you. In the temple, they taught you that a prayer to your spirit could heal disease, lift curses, even save you from certain death. Spirits are not generous and decline to help often. What would praying to the fox do? The fox is cunning and always has a scheme. He's a great burglar and dines well off those around him who never seem to see him come or go. Sure. Hey, you got more stamina. You can feel yourself getting accustomed to the fetid air of these hills. You have now ascended several hundred feet and can expect to make excellent progress before the end of the day. As you crest the brow of a hill, you see something that makes you stop in your tracks. To your left is a clearing, and in the clearing are several poles planted firmly in the ground. Oh. There's heads on the poles. The heads are all kinds of ages. Oh, all kinds and ages. Yikes. Some are recently fixed while others have decayed, and some are nothing but skulls and hair. There are human heads, goblin heads, and one or two heads of creatures you do not recognize, all sewn up eyes and mouths. A large X painted on a rock nearby is obviously intended as a warning not to venture any further, but ahead the roads fork left and right, and you cannot be sure which path you are warned not to take. The right hand path continues to climb, the left hand path winds down the side of the hill. I mean, I feel like the mines would be where we get murdered, so I guess let's take a lefty towards the river. Make your way down a steep wooded slope. After half an hour, you hear the gurgling of a stream, and then quite suddenly you emerge from the trees to the edge of a fast-flowing river. Fording would be impossible, but luckily someone has built a bridge. Let's test it. The bridge is made from two stout ropes with thinner strings hanging from them and boards tied to the strings. You test the ropes and notice the left one feels weak, but that doesn't mean the bridge is necessarily a trap, although it might be, but it doesn't mean that if the bridge collapses, the left side will fall away first. Let's cross, yeah. Let's race for the other bank. You make a break for the far bank, pounding across the boards as they tumble and plunge into the rapid water. Well, let's jump left. You leap left and manage to clear the bridge before it tumbles into the river, and the boards and ropes washed away by the torrent. You are a little scratched and bruised, but nothing serious. Still, there's no turning back. You get to your feet. Something moves in the bushes nearby. Who's there? You demand as you approach the bush, peering either side to spot if the figure tries to run, but when you get there, you find nothing. You beat the bush with your sword and find nothing except for one thing: a hollow tube of bamboo with touches of colored ink at one end that looks remarkably like a blowpipe. It is cracked and must have been discarded as worthless by its owner. This might be whoever put the heads on those poles nearby. You toss the pipe away, but you had best be on your guard. Ooh. We can go through the trees? I want to see if this is a village. As you descend, you pass a clearing. A safe point to stop, perhaps? I think we're fine. Yeah, I feel like stopping here would be kind of a bad idea. Continue along the trail. The undergrowth around you gets thicker with dense shrubs that snag at your legs as you pass. Suddenly there is a cracking sound beneath your feet. Branches or something else. You stop still, only for a pitfall trap to open up beneath you and swallow you whole. You drop some 3 meters into the ground and everything goes black. Oh my god. I've been had. You slowly regain consciousness. There's a stinging pain in your hands and feet, and something is wrong with your head. Close nearby, some kind of crazed pair is making an irritating noise. Let's lie still and listen. Keep absolutely still and listen closely. The chirping sound is no bird, but a set of 5 or 6 voices. They sound excited, but where are you? Just give it a minute. You'll find out soon enough. You wait, lying still. Perhaps if they think you're still out, they will leave you alone. But they don't. Someone kicks you in the stomach. Your eyes spring open and you find yourself on the floor of a hut surrounded by small, violent men. Judging by what they wear around their necks, they are headhunters. Let's try talking to them. Let me go, you murmur through thick lips, or I'll burn your homes to the ground. The men around you leap and jabber, but there's no reason to believe they understand your words. I'm going to cast Force Field again. If I can. Fireball! You attempt to weave a spell, but with your hands bound behind your back, you cannot cast it. You still suffer the effects of casting. You collapse back onto the floor of the hut. An hour or so passes, during which you are left alone. Then suddenly the little men return and lift you up on their shoulders. You are carried swiftly into the center of the headhunters' settlement. There's much commotion. Several natives rush off to fill a large pot with water to be heated over a fire. Meanwhile, you are thrown into a bamboo cage, hands still tied and guarded by a strong warrior. You raise a prayer to your spirit, but it does not hear you. It's still the fucking fox, of course. Try to maintain your calm and wait, watching for an opportunity. But one does not come. After an hour or so, a crowd of headhunters has gathered outside of your cage. They are singing and dancing and sharing wine. The water in the pot is bubbling loudly. 2 hunters approach your cage. Nice. You wait as the 2 hunters haul you out of the cage and bustle you towards the pot. You kick and squirm, trying to haul your captors to the floor. You make some progress, then one headhunter rushes over with a club and you receive a blow to the head. You slump unconscious, the sound of bubbling water, herbs, spices, and cooking potatoes filling your nostrils. I've already died. Let's rewind. I'm going to jump it this time. You leap ahead just in time as a pitfall caves in beneath you. You look back to see a gaping hole in which you would have fallen into. Just keep moving. I don't want to fucking look at it. I feel like if I were to look back at it, someone would come by and just fucking kick me. When your foot hits something else, there's gentleness. Duck. Die. Drop to your knees as 3 saplings snap upright in front of you. Each is filled with sharpened stakes. You've but a moment to see that they are red with dried blood before a middle spike connects directly with your neck. I'm dead, aren't I? For fuck's sake. I will go back. Stop. Die. Keep moving. I'm gonna see if I can jump this one too. Alright, I'll step back. I fell into the pit. Okay, we're gonna look around this time. Cautiously, you open your eyes. It takes a moment to understand where you are. Straw matting covers. Judging by what they wear around their necks, they are headhunters. Yep, talk to them. This time we're gonna shout. Untie me now, you vermin. The men do not untie you. One leans down, cuts your arm gently with a knife, and tastes your blood. We're gonna wait. Be ready to spring on them. Be prepared to... As soon as they unlock the cage, one of the hunters opens. But the other headhunters see your attack. You're now best to be set by not 2, but 20 headhunters. I'm gonna struggle, and I'm dead. I died again. These headhunters are rough. Okay, so we're gonna jump it. Keep moving. Jump. And die. Jump. Look at the pit. Step back. We just have the fate of being in this fucking... Check my head. Cast a spell. What spells? Oh, could I unlock? What does Dud do? I don't need Dud. Okay, we can't be here then. We're going back to the stream. Oh wait, actually no, we're gonna rewind. Yeah, this is where I prayed. We're gonna climb this time. The climb continues up the next hill for several hours until you are not far from the top. Then the faint sound of bustling activity reaches you. Tramping feet, grunting voices, and the clanking of metal against rock. There's something ahead, hidden by the ancient trees that line these slopes. Let's follow the sound, fuck it. You leave the path and continue cautiously through the woods. A short distance onwards, you hide behind a tree and survey a clearing. A number of goblins are in the clearing, working at the mouth of an open cave. They trudge in and out of the opening, carrying large bowls in their arms, piled up with glistening rocks and dull metallic nuggets. You stay hidden, getting a sense of the scale of the operation. There are at least 30 goblins inside the cave, each coming out every few minutes or so with a new pail of stones. Then there are other goblins working in the clearing with hammers, smashing the rocks into small pieces, extracting metals from inside, loading them into carts, and finally pushing the carts away down a wide track between the trees. It is quite some operation, but not without its weaknesses. There are too many goblins to create any sort of distraction, but they move away into the trees fairly often, and sometimes the cave is left unguarded. Let's just go back to the path. They're getting ready for war. Even they are afraid of the power of the Archmage will wield now. He has the crown, but it is no use to you. You are not here to raid goblin mines for yourself. You cannot risk the future of Analand for trinkets. So instead, you slip around the side of that clearing to a path leading onwards and down the far side of the hill. I didn't get got this time. Let's go. Follow a path that leads sharply downhill into a narrow valley in which a stream runs. There's no path along the bank, but there is a bridge. Test the ropes, they seem to be firm. If this is a trap, it's not one that will dump you into the stream, but you could always struggle through the vegetation on the bank and try to find a foraging point. We're just going to use the bridge. Moving slowly and with one hand on your sword hilt, expecting the boards to give way at any moment, you inch across. The bridge holds and you reach the other side safely. You now have a long walk ahead of you, along the ridge and through a light covering of trees. I'm going to get got somewhere along the way. Never mind. The path climbs again up a low hill covered over with thick bushes and shrubs that snag at your clothing. Halfway up and you hear a sound of twigs breaking. I'm gonna keep walking. You keep striding forward when suddenly a large creature the size of a bear emerges directly in front of you. It has black and white fur and a long bushy tail and that trails out behind. It growls menacingly. We're gonna try to edge around it. Perhaps if you are careful, you can slip around it. Go to the left. Leaving the main trail, you slip through the shrubs around the creature. Its patch is clearly a square of dirt through which the path leads. It watches you to ensure you don't come too close, but it doesn't attack. After a few minutes of this, you are on the other side and able to continue. The path leads down through another valley and back up another hill. 2 hours pass. Didn't have to fight. Let's go. Sun is just past zenith, and everywhere a dusty heat rises from the baked earth. You begin to think about where you will stay for the night. Another night sleeping out in the open would be the best avoided. You see a small village set into the hill. Smoke rises from the stacks. The houses are well set with stone at their bases and thatched roofs of grasses and thick leaves. There is, unusually, more than just the one street running through center of town. But it is as though this place, once rich, has had its heart scooped away. Litter surrounds the buildings, and on the edge of the village are rows and rows of empty, abandoned houses. You continue your slow trudge along the path. I'm going to go in. I'm curious. Going to the village, young hill dwellers pass you and stare at your strange clothes. I'll look at them, why not? Their own attire is rough by comparison to your gear. They wear their hair long but piled up on their heads. These people are ghastly poor. The village is like a ghost town here on the knife edge of backlands. Let's go to the alehouse. Walking down the single road, you quickly find a hut with its front covering pulled wide open and the smell of brewed beer coming from inside. You go in, several hill dwellers are here talking gruffly. When you enter, they watch you with understandable caution. The owner of the hut comes to you. Welcome to Krista Tatine. I can't say that. What do you want? Greet them. Hello. An evening's rest and drink to wet my throat, you reply. Ale is 1 gold piece, he answers. Please sit. Go over to the table where the hill dwellers are. Sit with the oldest one. You turn your attention to the oldest man at the table. Whatever face he once had is lost in a labyrinth of wrinkles, and his skin is the color of tanned hide from a lifetime in the beating sun. Greetings, stranger. His face is gravelly like the dusty dirt that lines the streets of his town. Where are you from? Come from Annaland. Raises his mug and salute. Wait, we already read that. He nods. Not many as cross thought Cantapani Gate. In either direction, if you know what I'm saying. I understand. They say there is war coming. Something to do with a crown. Not if I can help it. Is that so? Replies the canny old man. Well, seems like you should be drinking on the house tonight for the good of all of us. Shanty, he calls the innkeeper over. I'll cover this man's ale. Hey, thank you. Dap him up. Clean dap. Ah. Yeah. You reply, raising your cup to him. You sip your beer. The old man exchanges glances with the younger man sitting opposite. We're going to ask about the area. Can you tell me something about this region? Kristatanti? Certainly. I'll tell you that around here we're always glad to help out strangers. I think you're crazy. Just mid-conversation. Beyond Kristatani, there are 2 paths, he says. One takes you past Aliana's home, and you will need your wits about you if she's there. The other leads up into the hills and Liaki domain of the Great Ones. Either way you choose, I wish you the luck of Sindala on your journey. I thank you. The man nods. Fat lot of good my own good wishes will do you if someone tries to split your skull, he observes. The crowd in the inn is starting to thin out. You finish your beer in a single draught and get to your feet. You make to leave the inn. The way back to the old man who bought you your drink, you step outside. You look this way and that, trying to decide what to do next, when you realize the old man has joined you once more, grabs your shoulder and presses a fruit into your hand. Bamba, he declares through fermented breath. I grow them myself. Good for the stomach. turn the old man's gift over in your hands. It is a thick, rinded fruit that keeps well and will be highly nourishing when you decide to eat it. The only drawback is its incredible weight. It is now evening and time to sleep. I will find an inn. I have money. I'm going to avoid sleeping on the ground as much as possible. If I can. We'll see what happens. You stop a passerby and ask him for an inn. They lead you there directly. The woman who runs the place stands in the doorway with her arms folded. Are you from the king? She demands. No, I'm a mere traveler. The woman narrows her eyes at you. This is a guest house, the best in Christianity. Only guests stay, and any guest of mine knows it costs me 3 gold pieces to host a man overnight and 2 to feed him. But it's all between friends. I think I have plenty of food. I'll take a room. The woman shows you the way upstairs to a room. There are 3 other guests already staying and asleep, so you settle quickly. The bed is not clean, but it is comfortable, and after the long day and all its narrow escapes, you're grateful beyond measure for the rest. I didn't mean to hit that, but yeah, we're going to do that. Your last thoughts are of food. You have not eaten today, but you cannot march forever on an empty stomach, or you will achieve nothing but feeding the wolves. I'm actually starving. Okay, noted. Dreams are vivid once again. You're walking endlessly, the hills moving up and down, under your feet like a rippling sea. Every step exhausts you, but no step moves you forwards. Meanwhile, the food in your bag is rotting, wet through the sweat of your back, and in the distance a deep voice is booming with laughter. The long, cruel fingers of one hand are curled around the metal frame of a crown, and with the other he beckons you forward, as if into a trap. Let's eat real quick. I'll save the bamba fruit. You wake early and sit for a moment in no great hurry to leave the village. This is now the 3rd day of your journey, and the muscles in your legs are feeling lean and strong from so much walking. You spend the short while enjoying the peace, then unhurriedly collect your possessions and set off along the path. Christianity is surrounded by several miles of fields. It sits in a well-protected ring of hills and is close enough to the river to be reasonably prosperous. As you follow the path between the lines of sun-baked crops, you come to a fork in the road. The right-hand way leads past a set of outbuildings, while the left hand directly off into the deep woodland. Either way, I'm going to end up in the mountains. I think I'm going to go back into the woods. I feel like it's safer, because then we have coverage, but also easier to be attacked in, I guess. I don't know. So you disappear into the jungle of tall trees. For a short while, the sun is feverish, and then you are between the trees once more, and everything becomes cool and still. You walk for several hours uneventfully. This is the land that was never settled or explored, and very few travel this way. In places, bushes and shrubs have grown over into the path. You pick your way carefully forward, moving slowly but silently between the trees. If there are any beasts nearby, you should be able to wring their necks without them hearing you approach. Then you come to a fork in the road, still deep in the forest. Someone has thought to make a sign, perhaps as a guide or perhaps as a warning. The way to the right is marked for Dumpus. A left turn points to Alania, a name you remember from what the man in Cristani told you. I'm gonna go to the left. I know the old man talked about it. I don't fully remember what he said. But the path winds between trees to get greener and more lush. You must be closer to the river here, although you cannot hear the water. After about half an hour's walk through the dappled shade, you come across a well-built hut. Flowers decorate its walls, and the door has been painted with ornate designs. The path ends here. I'll scout around. You perform a swift circuit around the hut, but finding nothing unusual or concerning. It seems to be what it is, a hut. Set by itself deep in the forest, But for someone to survive out here on their own, surrounded by the beasts of the jungle, they must be someone quite powerful. Approach the door and knock. There's no reply. Okay. This is a diversion from your journey, possibly a dangerous one. You trace your steps to the last junction. We're going back to Dumpus. You walk for several hours, following the twists and turns of the path through the trees. Then suddenly you stop. You've heard a noise up ahead. Something is moving around between the rocks and the edge of the path. You hang back, watching the trees. There's definitely something moving around. Something large and long with a tail that whips between the trees. But now that you've seen it, you're at a definite advantage. The beast is off the path to the right, so if you creep through the tree line on the left, you may escape unnoticed. You try this tactic, moving slowly and carefully, making as little noise as possible, placing your feet with delicate care. After a few more yards, you are about to rejoin the path when the movement of the animal stops. It must have heard you or caught your scent, and sure enough, a moment later, it is upon you. In a flurry of foliage, a rat bear leaps from the undergrowth. It's much closer than you thought. Its sleek black fur allows it to hide in the shadows until it's almost upon you. What spells do I have? Now I could probably try hot. No, I'm not getting hot. We can do zap. Cast a spell and point at the beast, unleashing a violent electrical bolt deep into its fur. It is a rat bear. You have wounded it badly, but it's not quite done yet. It is still coming for you with the last of its strength. Alright. Fuck it up. Done. The rat bear advances at speed, running on all fours with its vicious tail pointing to spike. You will not be intimidated by an overgrown rodent. You plant your feet and ready a mighty sword swing. Then your sword slips between the creature's ribs and drives deep into its putrid heart. The rat bear squeals and falls to the ground, face down in the mud. Flawless fighting. With the beast dead on the path, you are free to move onwards. Awesome. Cool. Epic. Hello, hare. The path winds a few more times around gigantic trees, thousands of years old, and then it merges onto a sudden plain as if the forest had been scooped away by a gigantic hand. A river trickles thinly between short grasses, and by its banks stands a tiny village. Why are we avoiding villages so much? What is the point in that? I don't understand. Today has been mercifully short and uneventful. What do you mean it was uneventful? That was the first kill I've had all game. That's fucked up. Okay. Going towards the village, you follow the path down into the village, passing a sign which declares it to be Dumpus. The streets are thin and narrow, and the buildings have been set close together, as if trying to withstand a storm. There's a terrible smell hanging in the air. All in all, it seems to be an unpleasant place. It is called Dumpus. We're going to explore the town. Halfway along the track, you come across a couple of merchant huts. You browse for items worth buying with your 15 gold pieces. Your attention is taken by a finely woven skull cap, a finely crafted sword, and a small bag of provisions. I want to see the skull cap. You pick up the skull cap and turn it over. Stolen from a priest of Dadule. Merchant declares with pride, a fine piece of work. 4 gold pieces. Place it on your head, but you feel nothing. You take it off again. I think I'll buy it. I want to examine the sword as well. Carefully lift the long sword from the table and swing it through the thin air. It cuts with a finely carved edge. A fine piece of work. I'm sure you agree. I'm not paying 6 for that. I'm not buying 6. Is there any work to be had here? Yeah, let's do some work. You look like a good worker to me. One of my friends needs some digging doing. I'm sure he would pay you and feed you for it. Digging what? Doesn't matter. You'll find out. So, yes. Yeah, let's follow the merchant. He leads you to a house on the edge of the village and introduces you to the householder, a stout man who is probably incapable of lifting a spade, let alone digging with it. What is it you need doing? Cesspit, the man replies. Out back. Needs digging. How much? Well, the man replies, it's pretty urgent. The old one's overflowing. 3 gold pieces. I'll get started. Spade's out back, he replies with a jerk of his thumb. You walk through the man's house into the back garden. The smell is terrible. The job is not just to dig a new cesspit, but to dig over the old one. It's going to be several hours. Yeah, let's just start digging. Begin digging a new hole and tipping the earth into the old hole. The ground is hard and the smell... Yeah, let's eat. It's hard to stomach the food with the smell in your hands in the yard, but you're so hungry from the work that you wolf down the bread and soup he provides. And it's back to work again for the remainder of the night. You're just finishing when the sun comes up. Dang. Can I eat more? I want to eat the bamba fruit. Yeah, that gave me 4. You rise early, thank the householder, and head out into the street. Within a few minutes of walking, you are out of Dumpus and back on the road. After another hour or so, the way branches with one path heading up into the hills and the other turning downhill and along one side of a barren, stony ridge. Is that a village you could make out on top of the hill? It seems like a lonely place for it. Yeah, why are we over here? We're gonna go uphill. The gentle upward slope becomes a steep climb and you are forced to rest several times. So far you have been walking through the foothills. Now the journey will become more serious. When finally you reach the summit and can look out over the low plateau you have crested, you see the path runs through a small settlement of crudely fashioned huts. This is depressing to look at. There are villagers out on the street talking and working. It seems happy and bustling. Okay. I'll approach it. Fuck it. There seems to be no obvious danger. You approach along the path until you are close enough for the villagers to notice you. The effect is immediate. They begin to scurry inside their huts as if you were an army and not a lone traveler. You cannot help but notice what a sorry bunch they are. Squat and short and all limping strangely. Their bodies are thin and malnourished as they disappear through their doors. You know, some are missing limbs. Something about it gives you the shivers. Yeah, we're fucking... I'm not staying here. I don't want to be here. My new animal of the day, by the way, is a baboon. What does the baboon do? Yeah, I mean, sure, fuck it. Let's top off our health. You take a side path out of the village. Let's look back. Looking back, you can now see the village a little closer. There are red crosses marked on some of the doors. It is a sign of the plague. You shudder, thank your spirit, and move on. The path. Oh my god, they had the plague. Epic. Cool. Let's fucking run. Okay. It's difficult to see the way ahead through the tree liner, but you can't see any other alternatives. Let's look left. Looking left, you can see that the narrow ledge is formed by a splitting of the rock that leads all the way down to the misty valley floor. There is a path up the other side. It is not clear from here. Looking right, you are taken aback as out of the mist that fills the valley, and possibly wide bridge looms into view as if it only now had fallen into place. It is made of planks and thick ropes and is suspended from this peak to the peak of the other side. Who built such a marvel and how long ago? Take a moment more staring at the bridge. It forms a delicate curve across the valley, swaying very slightly in the wandering wind. But the more you look, the more it seems too perfect. Could such a bridge possibly exist? Let's rest a moment. I'm gonna go into the valley. The bridge seems untrustworthy. Should anything happen while you were there, or while you were halfway across it, there would be no escape at the last most final kind. Better to walk. You make your way along the stone ledge. The angle is steep and it's hard going not to stumble. At the valley floor, it is dried up river covered in worn stones, honed by water that is now long gone. Small caves open in the rock face nearby with rusted machinery abandoned outside. There was mining here once, but it must have been long ago. A wider track made for carts carrying ore leads up the far slope. Pause for a moment to recover your breath and look around. I'm more curious about the riverbed right now. You look down the riverbed, nothing but a carpet of stones. Ah, let's take some stones, fuck it. Choose 3 nice round pebbles and stash them in your backpack. Heavy to carry, but useful. You walk for a while between the ancient machines that list out of the mud beside the riverbed. Gigantic hoppers, now bronze with rust, with huge spike wheels on their sides and chutes leading between them, now thick with bindweed, slugs, and mud. Whatever these machines were for, they have not worked in decades, maybe even centuries. You approach the mine entrance. A wet wind greets you from the depths. The mine shaft must lead somewhere, but it is pitch dark. There are no torches, and you do not have any light of your own. Fuck it, let's go inside. I don't care. I can't see, but I'll go. Creep a little further inside until the wet rock is above you and the air falls suddenly cold and still. Your breath echoes. Do I have a light? Hold on. I don't have a sun jewel. Did I just die? Let me rewind again. Let me cast a spell. I want to see if I can cast hot, and then we can fucking just go deeper in. Cast your spell, creating a fireball on your palm that fills the mine shaft with light. Looking ahead, you see the passageway splits into a T-junction. Left and right lead the way, but then approaching up the left passage, you see something. Huge eyes and clawed feet that growls with hot, malicious rage. Let's run. Turn and run as fast as you can, extinguishing the fireball quickly and hope the creature will lose sight of you. Once in the valley, you start quickly up the path, turning back after a moment. It seems you have escaped and no longer being followed. Your breath is short and your heart is hammering as you pause. Halfway up the valley slope, a small wooden hut is opposite. Said a little babe. Yeah, let's approach the hut. Fuck it. Alright. Think you might be able to stop to buy food. You head towards the hut, but halfway across the scrub towards it, you see a figure emerging from the doorway. A troll. Let's approach it. You move towards the troll, not afraid to let it see you. And see you it does, raising its enormous sword above its head and roaring. Trolls are dim-witted creatures and cannot be reasoned with, despite the stories you may have heard. Alright. Become dumb! You cast a spell over the troll whose heavy, thick-set features seem to get heavier and thicker in a heartbeat. It steps towards you and kicks the blade of its own sword, knocking it from its own grip, curses and picks up the weapon up, only to drop it again. You could fight it easily now, or no doubt you could run away. Let's fight it, fuck it. I'm gonna go for a medium attack. Then the arm's length steps so he drops to crouch behind his thick little shield. You swing hard with your sword, aiming to cut through with a single stroke. Ugh. fuck. Not worth it. Maybe I could. There we go. Defend. And then defend. Die. Flawless. Let's search the troll's hut. With the troll dead, you quickly search the hut and find 3 gold pieces hidden inside the pile of blankets. Then you slip out and continue on your way. Yes. Another hour passes as you finish the climb with the sun starting to hang heavy in the sky. You reach the top and meet with the other end of the rope bridge. From this side, it seems perfectly safe. Perhaps you were unwise not to take it. Continue on down the slope as evening draws in. Let's head for town. Some way down the hill, you stop for a rest and sit on a boulder to survey what lies ahead. The path leads downwards at its foot. Cradled between 3 peaks is a village, and quite a large one at that, compared to the mournful spot you've just passed through. Behind you, the sun is falling rapidly into the hills. It will be night soon. Your heart swells. A village might mean a chance to restock on provisions. You hop down from the boulder and make your way forward, when an overhanging branch touches your face and you hear a lively chirping. You turn quickly around. Hovering by your shoulders is a small creature the size of a bird. It is childlike but very thin with green skin, and it flits you around on transparent wings. It seems friendly enough, it even lands on your shoulder, its tiny clawed toes pinching slightly. Greetings, little creature. Hello to you, the creature replies, chirping. My name is Jan. What do you want with me? See that village? The creature replies. Last time I tried to go through, they told me I wasn't welcome, so I would mind some protection. What are you? Creature's not back, does a backflip and gives you a low bow. I'm a mini-mite. Pleased to meet you. Reaches out a tiny little hand and shakes your earlobe. Creature starts hopping up and down. Come on, it grumbles impatiently. Let's get going, can't we? Sure, I can protect you. The creature squeezes your shoulder gently. It's like having a spider trying to burrow into your skin. Oh. What can you tell me about this village? You point down the valley. Is it safe? That's Biratanti, and it's very safe. The largest village in the whole of Shamantanti Hills. Every traveler who comes this way spends at least one night there. It's a little bit expensive, especially for mini-mites, but pleasant enough. The creature flits to your other shoulder once more. You're not in a hurry, are you? It observes. Do you want to sleep out in the rough? Let's get going. The creature shakes you by the ear in excitement, and you set off along the path once more. You descend into the bowl of the valley. The hills on either side are toweringly tall, and through the village into deep shadow. It would seem a very gloomy, threatening place, but from the streets comes the distant sound of laughter and merriment. Help, I got 17. I'm a little rich. It's fine. Continue along the path. The sounds of festivities grow louder. It's almost spooky here. Hello. In the shade of the valley, and after so long on the dire road, the people in this village seem to be enjoying themselves. See? The mini-mite on your shoulder remarks. I told you it'd be a happy place. What's going on? Oh, very nice. How did it go? Are they bewitched? Jan shakes his head. No. If there was magic, believe me, I'd know. This is a festival of the young. Fuck it, let's enter. Past the first few buildings where you find a number of children sitting in the street and drinking ale from deep mugs. Further on, a young boy is holding an old woman over his knee and spanking her. Okay. On the other side of the street, a group of boys is fighting outside a hut with a sign that reads, Glandragger's Tavern. It is all complete mayhem. Let's rescue. Stride over to the boy, intending to rescue the woman, but at the sight of your manner and sword, the boy puts her down and gets his feet. What are you about? He demands. I'm the leader of this village for today, and I say, get to bed. Strike the child. Time crunch, so we saw the boss. Nice. That's fun, though. One-shots are fun. You reach out and smack the I smacked the child across the cheek with the back of your hand. The blow was not hard, but he still falls backwards into the mud. He's quite clearly enraged and lets up a hollering cry. Suddenly there are 100 children around you, and not all beggars, but well fed and armed with sticks and pitchforks. Jan is making a hissing noise in your ear. Better run for it. Alright, we'll run. Swallowing your pride, you turn and race out of the village. The children follow, standing by the gates and waving their impromptu weapons. No, fuck it. I'll go back. Man, we meet Jan. Talk to it. Hello, Jan. Midi-mite. Oh, let's get going with me. Enter the town. We will avoid the old lady this time. Enter the festival. So you're helping it, but there's nothing you can do. It is their festival after all. Let's enter the tavern. Behind the bar is a... Oh, wait, actually, fucking... I just had another idea. Let's go... What? I don't know what I said. I want to fight the kid again. But this time, like, I'll cast, like, a spell. I'm just gonna keep going. Hello, Jan. Rescue the old woman. Strike the child. We're gonna fight. I'm not gonna fight. I'm going to just fucking keep her going. I'm also gonna... I can't pray to my gorilla. Alright, let's just do what I was going to do. Ignore the old lady. Enter the tavern. Behind the bar is a thick-set man is wiping mugs down with an old rag. Greetings, stranger, he calls. I'm Glandragger. Can I be helping you? Greetings. I've come a long way. I'm sure you have. Take a seat. Do so, and Jan leaps up and onto the counter. Glandragger seems amused rather than alarmed by the creature. How much is ale? 2 gold pieces, and it's the finest in town. Well, it's the only ale in town. I'm plenty rich. You put 2 gold pieces down on the countertop, and Glandragger pulls you a mug of beer. It's warm, frothy, and deeply refreshing. You look like you've been on the road a while. You have no idea if you reply. Tell me about yourself. Alright, never mind. He doesn't want to talk about himself. I'll just go fuck myself. Fine. Glan. I was to say, what you see is what you get. Again, this place keeps going because it's the only place en route between Kar and Cantopani. If one of these mountains falls or the river freezes over, this place will be a desert in 2 weeks. I'm heading there myself. Of course you are, you grins. Didn't I just tell you that? Kar. I loved a girl in Kar once. It's a town for love, you know. You have to live every day like it's your last in Kar because the chances are high that it will be. Now there's a city of thieves if ever there was one. I have my magic. Then you better lose that thing, he replies, flicking Jan with a finger. The tiny creature rolls over uneasily. He seems to be ill. Glandragger goes back to wiping down his bar. Then a thought occurs to him. You'll be passing through Torapani, I suppose. The Sphins in Torapani are normally a merry lot, but they're pretty depressed at the moment. There's real gloom about the place. I don't give a fuck! What's the matter with them? Oh well, he thinks for a moment and waves away whatever was on the tip of his tongue. I'm sure it's nothing to concern you. From the counter, Jan issues a loud burp. He had been sipping ale from puddles on the bar top and is now quite drunk. I'm just gonna get quickly to your feet, but you don't quite manage it. At the last moment, Jan rouses himself and flies wobblingly back to your shoulder. I love you, he whispers. We just met, brother. Head out of the tavern and turn a corner to find a group of girls standing by a signpost pointing to the crystal waterfall. They are tripping up their elders as they pass and giggling. What is the waterfall? They are too distracted by Jam, whom they delight in poking, tickling, and generally cooing over. After a few minutes of asking them about the waterfall, you give up and walk away. One of the girls calls, "Come back." Another shouts, "The water is good for you." Jan sighs, already missing the attention, but comes back to rest on your shoulder. You leave the girls to their snickering. I'm gonna say, fuck it. We're gonna go to the waterfall. Go back past the girls and head up a path that climbs through a crack in the mountainside. Soon the air is filled by a thundering English. It's quite a climb, but eventually you turn a corner through a narrow cleft in the rock and catch your first glimpse of a tall natural waterfall plunging down from the cliffs overhead. Large crystal stalactites hang down either side of the water. It is stunning. There's only one path to reach it, winding up the rock face, and it passes by a small hut where a ruffian is collecting money. Ask Jan to scout ahead, even though he's drunk. Tap Jan on the shoulder. Why don't you scout ahead, find out if this waterfall is worth the money? Jan looks uncertain but agrees. Alright, but I'll be quick. Don't think you can get rid of me just like that. I can catch up. Gonna greet the ruffian while Jan does his thing. You make your way over to the hut. Greetings, you begin. You collect a fee for the waters. I do, sneezes the ruffian. These waters cannot be so healing that he has not caught an awful flu from them. 3 gold pieces. There's a buzzing at your shoulder, and as Jan returns and resettles himself. It doesn't look like much to me, he whispers. I think you'd be wasting your gold if you paid. I'll haggle. Shake your head. For a bath? That is too much. The waters are healing, the ruffian explained. I'm curious. I'm willing to pay. Head up the waterfall, which cascades forcefully into a deep pool. Strip off your clothes and dive into the pool while Jan flitters through the froth. Cool water is fresh and invigorating, and you feel yourself getting rapidly better. You feel a huge swell of confidence. Coming here is the best decision you've ever made. Wait, this water cures disease? Oh wait, this water cures... Where can it come from, this water? How is such a thing possible? Looking up the sheer cliff face, you can make out nothing beyond a slight shadow hovering at the very edge of the precipice, like a gigantic spider waiting to jump. Whatever it is must be a place of great power, a place to be sought out, or a place to be avoided as one might avoid the plague. Now you can move on, refreshed and ready for the night. We went to these waters right here, and they healed us fully. I'm gonna go back and find an inn, though. I don't really feel comfortable sleeping outside. I do want a meal, though. Meal if you can supply one. The girl looks down with a severe expression. 4 gold pieces, no discounts. I'm still gonna eat. Fucking. $5. I pay the 5 gold pieces, and she directs you up a winding set of stairs to a room in the rafters of the house. From here, you have a perfect view over the madness in the streets outside. Children are running riot with blazing torches, waving them in the faces of the adults they pass. A few men have their legs and arms tied around fence posts. If this wasn't a festival, it'd be a revolution. Yeah, just go to bed. But never mind their problems, pushing a chest in the way of the door to stop anyone coming in. You stretch yourself out on the straw matting Jan curls up under your ear. Perhaps if you rise early, you can slip out without his noticing. The noise from the streets begin to subside as darkness spreads across the village. Oh yeah, we got this little fairy dude. They're called mini-mites. His name is Jan. He has decided to rest on our shoulder. And apparently he prevents us from being able to cast spells. Not 100% sure why, but he just wants to be on our shoulder. Yup. He also got really drunk with us at a bar. We didn't get drunk, he did. He was just sipping like things people have spilled, and he got wasted, and apparently he loves us. I don't know. That's just what happened. You rise early as you gather your things. Jan leaps up and onto your shoulder. Ready to go? He chirps. You head downstairs and out of the inn. Nothing on the way that the girl who let you in is now sitting quietly in a chair, while her parents clean and prepare a breakfast of baked bread. Head outside and follow the path to the far side of Biritanti. The sun sits on the horizon like a gleaming jewel. If all goes well, you will reach Torapani today, the last village in the hills. After a short climb, the path breaks, heading uphill to the left and downhill to the right. Since he's here and just fucking ruining everything, let's ask for his opinion. Which way, Jan? Make yourself useful if you can. To the right is a forest, to the left the going is easier. The path heads through a field of black flowers to Torapani. What else do you know? Nothing, protests the creature, and that's a fine way to talk to your guide. I'm not charging you for my advice, you know. You'll get no more from the creature. Alright. But if we go to the right, we can see where the waterfall came from, it looks like. We go right, you decide, then be on your guard, Jan warns you. You climb a rise. The way is not too steep, and as noon approaches, you have crested the ridge and are descending yet again. You are now at the highest point of the hills, where the trees are thin and the view west goes on forever, and sometimes you catch glimpses of Kara on the northern horizon. I guess we'll stop and eat. I'm out of rations, though, and I'm out of money. Taking a brief pause, you eat the last of your food and feel better for it. Then you continue along your path. Jan is in a talkative mood over the worst of his headache from last night's drinking and fills the air around with his chatter about what he can see and how things smell and what he plans to do once he makes his fortune in Kar. You pass from the open hillside into a patch of deep forest. Quite suddenly, Jan falls quiet and hisses in your ears. Stop now. Why? Because, insists the creature in a tiny voice, because something is following us. You come to a dead stop. Jan is right. Something is moving through the trees behind you. A moment later, a point of steel has emerged from the darkness between two trees and touches your neck. You've seen me, whispers a voice. I know it. I see nothing, you call back. You are quite safe. It is not I who is not safe, returns the voice. Who's there? Oh, he's cool. There's no reply, but the tall, dark figure of an assassin emerges from the trees. He is dressed head to toe in black, and you had not seen him a moment before, even though he had been standing a mere arm's length away. He wields a sharp sword in expert hands. Can I cast a spell? Jan's technically not on me. Let's go back to what is walk. Yeah, let's create a shield. Let's fight. Got one in. Oh! I'll defend. Probably not gonna do too much. I'll spare him. He hasn't really done anything. Wait, hold on. What? The assassin is ready to leap back into the tree line as you come at him again. He's off balance and moving slowly, and the blade goes deep. He turns and tumbles, releasing his sword as he topples. I am not so proud as to not admit when I am beaten. He groans. You may finish me if you so choose, but if you do, do me an honor and use my own blade. He hasn't really done anything. He hasn't done anything. Man's just trying to make a living. He didn't do anything. Bro's just out here, working hard, showing off what he can do. I don't see why does he have to die for his hard work? Then get up, you tell him, holding your sword back, but not putting it away yet. He nods and sheathes his own blade. You're an honorable man. I'm glad to meet you. Now you have saved me. You owe me in part. My name is Flanker, and I am an assassin and a thief. Why did you attack me? It is a simple matter. I pick on wayfarers for practice in hiding and in killing. I assumed you would be no match, especially when I saw your pet. He points briefly at the mini-mite, who is currently hiding under a fold in your tunic, but I see I was wrong. He bows his head once, perhaps in respect, perhaps from the pain of his injuries. You're traveling to Car? I'm just going to give this man all my information. Here's my social security card. I go that way as well. I will not travel with you, but once you are there, perhaps I will see you. So I will not forget the debt I owe you. I will remember you. This time it is definitely from pain. I've caused your wounds. I will help you. Fucking tearing strips of dark fabric from his clothing, you bind his wounds tightly and the bleeding lessens. You are too kind to a man who is about to kill you, he murmurs. Let that be your lesson, you reply as you gather up your things and head out of the forest, leaving him behind. You have a sense that you've made a powerful friend. See, Ben? Workers' comp. Boom! I'm hungry and tired. We've gone such a long way. Brother, you can stop here. Continuing along the path around the side of the hill. A wooden hut is set to the slope with an old woman sitting on the front step. A river seems to emerge beneath her. As you get closer, you realize the water flows underneath her house, and the house itself is set on blade struts like an insect straddling the watercourse. Hello. Greetings, you call. The woman looks up at you and smiles. Come over here, won't you? She calls. I can barely see you. We'll say hi. A toothless smile and gets up from the step. Come in, please, she beckons. I get so lonely living out here on my own from the village. I won't go inside, but... Shake your head. I shall not stay too long. I have a long journey still to make. Of course, she replies. We'll have tea out here on the step. She sounds almost nervous. Hurrying to her kitchen, she returns with 2 large cups. Watch it, Jan whispers in your ears. I don't trust this one. Not that I care what happens to you, of course. The tea is still hot. Your cup is between. This is a beautiful place. This is the top of the crystal waterfall, she says. The river runs right under my house. They say it carries all my goodness and youth away while I sleep, and the villagers bathe in it for luck. She giggles, meanly. I'm sure it isn't quite true. What's your name? You're calling me Gaza Moon, she replies with a smile. I used to be quite well known in my way. You nod, but never heard of her. Why do you live alone? It must be more dangerous. Oh, she smiles sweetly. No one bothers about me. Why would they? Can't help but notice she has not answered the question. You make to sip your tea when the old woman stops you, catching her arm before the cup reaches your lips. Oh, she suddenly says, I've forgotten the pot. She goes back to the kitchen to fetch it. Why is running an option? We're taking it. There's something very wrong here. While the woman's back is turned, you try to slip away, but she hears your footsteps and calls out, "Come back here. Please come back." Keep walking. The old woman begins to scream incoherently. Little Jan is shaking now. Suddenly there is a cracking sound to your left. You wheel around to see a colossal tree swaying, its trunk split, leaning. We're gonna dodge right. Dodge right quickly. The tree falls exactly where you had been standing. Picking yourself up, you find the old woman standing in front of you. You do wrong to ignore the invitation of Gaza Moon. She declares, pointing a crooked finger at you. Her hand is crackling with blue energy. A lightning bolt only milliseconds away. Dodge left. Try to move, but there's no time. Oh, fuck. I died. Alright. We're on the back now, y'all. We're gonna make conversation again. What's your name? Why do you live alone? It's a beautiful place. Make a run for it. Alright, then dodge left. Happens to the best of us. Can I make the spell? Or, yeah, force field. Nothing happens. Your last thought is want to panic. What has happened? Fuck, yeah. What's his name? Jan. What happens if I dodge right? Okay. I need to kill Jan. Let's try switching cups with her. While she's away from the table, you switch the two cups around. Then when she returns, you lift the one closest to you and drink. A sudden deep pain grips your stomach when you double over. I can count on travelers suspecting my witchcraft. God damn it. Try to shout, but when you paralyze and quite powerless, the woman begins to search through your bag. Jan watches, arms folded, doing nothing, but clearly not surprised. She removes your pebbles and the cloth skull cap and stashes what she has stolen into a drawer. Then she flicks a finger and you find yourself elsewhere. Wherever you are, Jan is still with you. Fuck you. You can move, getting your feet, find yourself on the path. Oh my god, I got robbed. She didn't take my gold though. I'll take it. It's now late afternoon. You pass over the brow of the next stone below is a village of Torpani, slung from one side of the valley next. So let's just approach it. Enter the village. There's a defiant air of depression hanging over the place. The Svins are going about their business, slowly and miserably in pain you no heed. You sit yourself down on a tree stump in the very center of the village to consider your option. Let's make friends with a villager. Spy a group of Svins sitting outside a low hut, and you walk over, sit yourself down. They're discussing a friend apparently killed in the night by an assassin's curved blade. See, this is why we spare assassins, so friends can get revenge. Because I have no quarrel with him. You met him? You still alive? One? I spared him. The Svins pushes you angrily. Why you spare a murderer? You murderer? No. Your logic is too much for the Svin. He spits a gob of green goop on the ground and breaks when another Svin bangs his head down on the table. But who saved Tia? Who is Tia? Our flower. The Svin who answers wipes a tear from the corner of his eye, scratching himself painfully with an uncut fingernail. Tia is chief's daughter. Oh. The other Svin says Esh was to save her. Now Esh is not alive, so Tia is soon not alive. What happened to her? Goblins, they sacrifice Sacrifice? He's unsure of the words, so mimes a gesture like stabbing downward knife blade. Yes, sacrifice to a great cave demon. Trouble is, another says, our village die of Chief Line End. Tia is end, so if end ends, we end. All very sad. Very sad. Who are you? Wait, no, sorry. Who you? One asks suddenly, as if just thinking of it. He prods you in the chest. Traveler. Traveler, a sly gleam enters the biggest one's eye. Great traveler? I do my best. Best is good. Meek Tifa. He signals to the others who are quickly on their feet. Big hefty arms swinging for you. We take to Chief. Before you can resist, they have you and are hauling you bodily onto their shoulders. Jan clings onto your shoulder, refusing to be shaken free. Pray to my spirit. In a whisper, you begin prayer to your spirit. The gorilla for aid. Nothing happens immediately. Then you reach a low hut and are thrown to the earth. Your arms... Can I still not pray to the gorilla? Fuck you, gorilla. But now that you have summoned the power above, they will not help you. Wait, perhaps your spirit has heard you. You cannot be sure. Oh. Well, I've been captured, but at least I'm not tangled up this time. So... You pull your knees to your chest and wait. Jan goes to sleep immediately. The long watches of the night pass slowly, and in the end nothing happens and no one comes. I got good sleep. Still alone, an hour passes before you hear any noise outside, and then the door to the hut opens and five Sphins come in. They drag you roughly out and across the street to another hut where an old man with gray hair sits. He's wearing outlandish, colorful robes. My name is Proceus, Chief. He slaps his chest twice. I apologize. Then he bows, brushing the dust on the floor with his sleeve. What do you want? He holds up his hand. First, he waves to Menial, who brings in bread and milk. Yeah, fuck it. I like bread and milk. Eat it. Gratefully, you bolt down the meal. It does not seem to be poison, and I didn't even think about poison. The bowl is removed, and the chief squats down in a pool of cloth. Jan cowers under your own cloak and hoping to go unnoticed and quiet for once. I have need of you and your strength. Tell me. Chief nods. I shall. My daughter, my child, she's taken, offered to a terrible demon below. Goblins? Chief spits out the word. Goblins. He shakes his head as tears well up in his eyes. We never friends, but we never enemies like this. I not understand their hate. Why they care about demons in caves. Sure, I'll save her. Fuck it, why not? Chief wipes away a tear with a clawed finger. He gestures to the other Sphins who, still taking no chances, grab you by your arms and haul you to your feet. I can walk, you know. You are led along a short pathway through the forest to a crack in the ground. One Sphin has brought a rope and another a basket. They are preparing to lower you down into the pit of the earth itself. Fine, we take the adventure. You wait until they are ready, then step into the basket. The chief nods to you with respect. Watch the darkness, he declares as they start to lower you down. From your shoulder, Jan murmurs, we're in trouble now. He shivers. You don't realize you can't use magic with me around, and I'm not going anywhere. Why don't you just fucking wait up above ground? You hit the floor with a thud and peer into the darkness. Your eyes can make out nothing, but a slight breeze suggests endless space in all directions. You're blind, helpless, and trapped. Something clatters to your feet from above. One of the Spins shouts something down to you. Crouch down, feel around your feet until your hand closes on the base of something. Pick it up. It is dry wood torch. Let's go. Something else falls from above and strikes you on the head. Tinderbox, calls the voice. Rubbing the bruise on your head, you reach down and find the tinderbox. Why are we cursing them? You strike the light and torch the blazes into a flame. You can see now you're in a large cavern, wide and deep. At the far end, passageways disappear to the left and right. Through the uneven rock fall, at the far end of the cavern, you hear a murmur. We're just gonna listen. You clamber over the rocks at the edge of the cavern to investigate the sound. It is a whimpering coming from the other side of a pile of stones. The Sphin girl, perhaps. She came in this way, but then the cave blocked in her path. Let's go left. You creep slowly into the darkness, ears straining for the sound of approaching threat, but all you can hear is Jan's quiet whimpering. God, fucking, can we just slam Jan into the wall? The passageway slopes down a short way, then ends in a T-junction. 2 stones are stacked on top of one another against the wall here. There's nothing special about the 2 stones except that they happen to be on top of one another. Let's go right. Pendulous statues hang from the ceiling. Stalactites, my bad. As if about to fall and skewer into place. You skirt between them, following a thin, safe path until the passageway opens to the left. Take the left passage. After a few minutes, walk up a shallow incline, you begin to hear something in the distance. A low rumbling. You see what happens. The rumbling gets louder, and then your hair stands on ends as you see a large, rounded boulder rolling swiftly down the passage towards you. The rock... Find a gap. You look quickly for a gap. I died. Sick. Hold on. The caves. Rewind. I will just go right. You turn right, creeping slowly forward. The passage rises up a gentle incline. At the top, a thick crystal seam glitters in the torchlight, and the tunnel ends in a T-junction. The seam seems to be made of pure diamond. It was no doubt in quest of this that these tunnels were carved. But why is no one mining out here now? Sure, but your sword is not up to the task, and you would only make it blunt. You could perhaps return with a proper pick, but only if you can escape these tunnels first. Yeah, go straight on. Left. Are these the stacked ones? Yeah. Wait, do not give up, you keep climbing. Oh, I lost 5. Ankle was badly twisted and you're lucky. For fuck's sake. Okay, go right. Go work down the passage. Oh my god. Climb out. The only way out is to climb, leaving your torch by the foot of the wall. You begin the ascent. I died. 100 snakes. Jesus. Okay, go left. Go right. Go left. Turn and run. Go left. Go right. Go straight on. Turn back. Go left. Go right. Gap in between. I can't use fucking magic. Can I fight these? No. No, I can't. And I can't use magic because of the fucking...
We're going into a room because there's a rock. Hundreds of gallons. Oh god. Oh. Nope, I just died to a fucking snakes again. Died again. Why can't I kill snakes? Damn it, I'm like not paying attention to where I'm going now. Listen by the rocks. Go left. Go left. Go left. No, I didn't want to do that. For fuck's sake. Jan needs to fuck off. Brother,
What is the fucking...
okay, you can either do all the above, so we're just gonna keep heading left. Only left.
Oh, we found her. What the fuck? Easy. I thought it would at least be like, yes, here, you can only go right. All right. You follow the passageway and you hear an echo of whimpering coming from the corridor. Your torchlight falls across the pale shape hiding in the shadows of the young Sven girl. Come with me. You hold out a hand and the girl takes it and gets to her feet. We'll have to be quiet, she says, or else. Suddenly there's a loud roaring from the mouth of this short cavern. It's fucking snakes. Walls begin to shake and crumble. The Sven's stone tower topple and scatter. To one side, a gap in the rubble begins to open, running through a mean shaft of light. But before you can head for it, the roaring sound is joined by a scream from the Sven girl. You turn slowly and peer into the gloom back along the tunnel. Is there something moving? Something coming closer? Perhaps the roaring is the wind rushing through the tunnels. Hear the scraping sound of claws on rock, and the exit from the tunnel is blocked by a dark and looming shape. A manticore. Huge, terrible. It stands between you and the light and howls in bloody rage. It's cool looking. I like the design. Manticore is a foul hybrid creature by the evil sorcerers of old and steeped in bitter self-hatred. It has a lion's body and the tail of a scorpion, but its face is that of an old man and its thoughts are cruel and resentful. As it sees you, it rears back, flapping two enormous wings on its back. Alright, catch these hands. Bonk. Oh. Bonk again. Fuck. Eh. I'm gonna die. One final big strike. Again. We can come back from this. We're so back. Oh, get fucked, idiot. Dang. Dang. That's fucked. Okay. Just gonna defend twice. Should be dead. The only noise in the chamber is the hammering of your heart and the quiet breathing of the Sven girl. Then the Minamite breaks out into a loud cheer, whooping and punching the air. You bow to him. Thank you, the Sven girl murmurs, then tugging at your arm. This way. She leads you towards the light, through a gap in the rocks to the pool of the sunlight in the first cavern. Call your father. Sven girl child nods mutely, then bawls out at the top of her lungs. Proceus, I'm here! And something drops down, a rope with a basket on the end. I'm just gonna send her up first. Holloway! The swing girl gives a cry and begins to pull. The basket starts to slowly rise, spinning as it goes. The girl waves to you as she disappears in the sunlight. Minute passes. They've just left us to die, Jan whispers, shivering on your shoulder. Another minute, still nothing. No sign of sound or movement from above. The tunnel echoes very slightly, a noise from the depths. Perhaps the manticore was not alone. You wait a little longer, settling down on your pack. You can imagine the celebration going on above ground, the tears and the grateful reunion. No surprise if they lose track of you down here in the dark. And then, sure enough, the basket and the rope tumble down. You clamber quickly in and they haul you up. Above ground, the chief himself helps you onto the grass. His daughter is with him, clutching his hand. My daughter tells me you fight bravely, he says. For that I am grateful. I invite you with us back to Torpani. Will you come? Of course. Fucking... what an adventure. Hell yeah, look at him. A little generosity cannot hurt you. You nod, I will come. It erupts in celebration. You are given a place to stay and recuperate from your long journey. A visit to the healing priest treats your wounds, and when you emerge, it is to find the village before so somber and silent. Now in full life, flowers are tied to every rooftop, and bands of Svins are playing music on long, strangely shaped lyres. You are whisked away into the dance by Proteus' daughter before the chief can welcome you to the feast. The night is glorious. Yeah. That night you sleep heavily and arise the next morning to continue your journey. The chief meets you before you go. My good friend, he declares, you have saved us. He presses 2 gifts into your hands, a pouch of 10 gold pieces, a fortune for a place like this, and a key. This open the south city gate of Kar. He tells you, I hope it is use. Take your leave. The path winds away from Torpani, and soon you're on the downward slope away from the hills, through the stepped rice fields. As you walk, you feel for the first time the loneliness of the path ahead. Though Kar is a busy city, it is cruel, and beyond Kar there is nothing but the vicious wasteland. You have no one to trust in the days ahead. For a brief moment up on the hills above the path, you fancy you see a figure stealing its way along by some high and secret route. A figure all in black, but when you shade your eyes against the sun, whatever was there has disappeared. In the distance rises the wall of a great city, the first true stonework you have seen since you left home. From the shoulder, you feel Jan hop away into the air. I didn't mind the manticore, he hisses, but this place I'm afraid of. Take care, you'll need it. Finally! Then he buzzes away into the sky and is gone. Not exactly sorry to see him go, but you wonder if you'll ever see him again. I fucking hope not. Except the not a real crip. Your journey through the hills is completed. Along the way, you have gained the friendship of Flanker the assassin and have been given the key to the gates of Kar. You have collected no magical artifacts. You are still armed with only your original sword and have no rations and 13 gold pieces and a spell book. Oh. Sure, I'll save. Sick. I think this is just back at the beginning, but I'm gonna call it there just because I do have to go get ready for work and such. I knew this game wasn't gonna be too long. That was fun. I'm wondering if I could have killed Gaza, the moon witch or whatever. Piece of shit. Fucking robbed me. Or the head goblins or whatever. The head takers, whatever they're called. Ugh. But. It was fun though. But I am gonna dip. Thanks for joining me on that fun little adventure. Mayhaps I will continue that another time. But have a good night / day, everyone.